Shalom Yisrael. This is Masha here. The Spirit's aiming today to give some words of wisdom. The first point I would like to make out is the role of a biblical woman and man. The primary role of a woman is a helpmate to assist the man to fulfill his mission. So you can only be a biblical woman and man to do this because the book is only written to the Hebrews, to the Israelites. So you can find this at Genesis 2:18 and Genesis 2:25, that the woman is a helpmate. And the second point I would like to make out, the Father in heaven has divine structure for the family unit, for the Israelites. So first is Yahawah, then Yahawah, then the man, then the woman. So without this structure, the household will not be in order. You can find this at 1 Corinthians 11:3. So first is for Father in heaven, Yahawah, then his son, Yahawah, Jesus Christ, then the man, and then the woman. So without this order, this household will not be in order. So now we're going to 1 Peter 3:1-7. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if you obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wife, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning let it not be the outward adorning of plating, the hair and of wearing of gold, or a putting on of apparel. Let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is the sight of the Lord, which is the sight of God of great price. For after this manner in the old time, the holy woman also, who trust in God, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughter you are, as long as do well, and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. Give honor to thy wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being hearers together of the grace of life, that you pray be not hindered. So I would like to point out some key wording in that passage. Subjection to your own husbands, meaning the act or process of being someone or something under one's control. So the man will have to tell the woman to do certain things only in righteousness. So they can only do it in the righteousness. And the second one is meek and quiet spirit, meaning that when a man is talking, you gotta be meek, under control, and be quiet. Do not talk over him. Do not talk against him. So be meek and quiet. The third verse I would like to bring out is honor the wife as the weaker vessel. So the woman was saying things out of her emotions, out of her feelings. So we cannot hold the woman to everything that she does, because she based a lot of things off her emotions. So the woman will do a lot of things that the man will not do because they are the weaker vessel. So we have to honor them as the weaker vessel. So certain things we cannot hold them accountable for. So I would like to go back to Genesis 3:16, and it says, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall have rule over thee. So Yahawah made your birth to your children a big sorrow, and everything that you desire should be to the husband, and he shall have rule over you, meaning to exercise ultimate power or authority over. Control, lead, dominate, head, govern. So the man should have rule over the woman, meaning that anything that you should do or say, the man should have charge over you. So all this is coming from the Bible. This is Yahawah saying this. And now if y'all would like to go with me to 1 Corinthians 7, 1 through 17. That pretty much tells you about the marriage rules of conduct. So this is how you should conduct yourself during marriage. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. And the wife had not power of her own body, but the husband, and likewise also the husband had not power of his own body, but the wife. Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment. But I would that all men were even as myself. For every man had his proper gift of God, the one after this manner, and one after that. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide, even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. And to the married I command ye not, I but the Lord, least not the wife depart from her husband, but as if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband. Let not the husband put away his wife. But to the rest speak I not the Lord. If any brother had a wife that he believe not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away. And the woman which had a husband that believed not, and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him. But the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were ye children unclean, but now are they holy. But if the unbelieving depart, let him depart. A brother or a sister not under bondage in such cases, but God had called us to peace. For what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband? Or have knowest thou a man which whether thou shalt save thy wife? But as God has distributed to every man, as the Lord had called everyone, to let him walk, and so ordained I in all his churches. So let's find out the responsibilities for a man. If you go to Isaiah 4:1, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Let us only be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So the man's responsibility is to provide food and clothing. And now let's go find the wages you got to pay for a wife, because back then biblically you had to pay the father for their daughters. And then we go to Genesis 29, Jacob had to serve 14 years to get Rachel and Leah. He actually wanted Rachel, but the father pretty much tricked Jacob into taking Leah because she was the oldest. So he had to take Leah first and had to do another 7 years to get Rachel. So he had to do 14 years to get Rachel, the one he wanted. So if you go to Ruth 4:9 through 10, I'll read this for y'all. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, ye are witnesses in this day that I have brought all that was Elimelech's and all that was Shilon's and Mahlon's of the hand of Naomi. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon the inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day. So again, you can see that he had to buy Ruth, and he had to purchase her to be his wife. So, and for someone to be a wife, all you had to do is just labor her. If we go to Exodus 22:16 and 17, and if a man entice a maid, they not be betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. So you can see then that he had to pay He had to pay money. If the father refused, and he had to pay him the dowry of virgins, however much he pleases. And just because you lay with her doesn't mean that you're her husband and that she's your wife. That just means that you're engaged, soon to be married. So just because you lay with her doesn't mean that y'all are married. A fiance is a woman who is engaged or to be married, surely endowed with a dower paid for her to be his wife. And you had to pay wages, dowry of virgin, or a bride price, means the money that a groom pays to his bride's father in exchange for her hand. Like Jacob did 14 years of wages to get Leah and Rachel. No, it wasn't free. He had to do 14 years, 7 years for each, and he didn't want to do 7 years for both of them. He only wanted Rachel. He was tricked into getting Leah. So actually, he really wanted to do 7 years, but he ended up doing 14 years. Just the price you got to pay to get what you want. Now I would like to give you some extra scripture to study. This is Matthew 7:13 and 14. Enter ye in a straight gate, and for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth to life, and few there be that find it. Second verse is Matthew 24 and 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness to all nations, and then shall the end come. In Matthew 22:37 and 40. Yahawah shall say unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, with all thy mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. 1 John 5:2 and 4. By this we know that we love the children of God, which we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world, and this is a victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. And 1 John 2:15. 1 John 2:15 and 17. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, unless the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passes away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever. 2 Peter 2 and 20 and 22. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior, Yahawah, they are again entangled therein, and overcome, the latter end is worse with them than the beginning. For it has been better for them not to have known the way of the righteousness, than after they have known it, to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them. But it has happened to them according to the true proverb. The dog is turned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mere.